Hello, my name is Mandy Nolan. I've written a book called What I Would Do If I Were You, and I'd like to thank you because if you're listening to this or watching this, then you're a bookseller and you're considering having a look at my book. The book is funny. I'm a stand-up comedian, have been for 25 years, so the book is obviously funny, and it's stories about family life and parenting. I called it What I Would Do If I Were You because I hate advice books. Like, I've got 5 kids. They're not all mine. Well, they are all mine. One's stepdaughter, but I've got like 3 husbands. Well, 1 current one. I'm not illegal. But it is a different setup that we have in our family, with a modern blended family, as it were. And I found none of this stack of books that sit out there apply to me, or it seemed to, as a real parent, in what I think is a real situation, there's never any stories that relate. It's all so prescriptive to follow a 10-step plan to get, compliance from your children. I've got my eldest is almost 16, the youngest is 2. I can't get compliance from anyone, only the dog who's sitting down there. I probably spend 3 to 4 hours a day just tidying up. That's not cleaning, that's just putting things back. And I complain. I write a lot about that. In fact, a lot of what I've written is really just some pretty eloquent, funny and satirical complaining. There's sort of over 20 chapters and stories from things like how do you deal with death? A terrible story when I had to actually kill my daughter's guinea pig, but I couldn't actually do it, so we let it die naturally, and I sort of talk about the horrors of that. The morning routine, like clearly my kids, they've been getting up and going to school for, the last sort of 10, 15 years. But to them, they act like it's a surprise every day. Like they didn't realise they'd have to have their uniform ready on the day. I don't handle things particularly well. I don't think most people do under pressure, like most of the time, if someone else is watching. But I'm writing about when no one's watching, about the mistakes we make, and about, I suppose, the kind of parents we would have liked to have been and the kind of parents that we are. And there's a pretty big gap. It's like meditation. Why pay for a yoga class when you can get your workout here? I'm actually clenching at the moment, clenching my core, and I'm doing a little bit of this. That's the only exercise I get. I'm trying to make light of it because usually I'd be crying because I only cleaned it 2 hours ago. I write about all these things. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's a bit touching. I'm very honest. Sometimes a bit controversial, I suppose. I do say quite radical, satirical things. Hopefully people get it's satire. I write a story about teaching children about disappointment because I believe that we're indulging them far too much. And I talk about how I only gave one of the 5 children a Christmas present, and the other one's just got a personality which is forged out of disappointment and grief. Now, clearly I didn't do that, but it's part of the story and you have to sort of suspend belief. I had a great time writing the book. I really laughed a lot when I was writing it, and I really thought really deeply about the kind of things I haven't read or I haven't heard about parenting, the kind of things that make me feel better when I read it, to know that other people experience that or other people do that. I want to know that other people hate going to ballet recitals. I want to know that other parents, forget to put lunch in. These are the stories about trying to be a family. I'm trying to cope with the technologies, dealing with things like Facebook and iPods and your own sense of purpose and sense of self as a person in the middle of all of that. These are the wonderful stories of now, of their real stories. And they're stories of every day, and I think that's where the best humour is. Everyday struggles, everyday failures. Not a lot of triumphs in this book. No one laughs at triumphs. That's boring. That's called boasting. This is real. So I hope you really enjoy it and I hope you have a good laugh.